Okay, let me give Blood some credit. First off, in order to be an advanced gangster, you have to know a little bit of Crip and Blood in order to know where a morph is. What is a morph? A morph is above autism's comprehension because it fuses aspect of a world together. That's fusing materials. That means you can't just, escape or wear straight. So what I used to do was I would do Emerald Safari. It means reverse, the shape that the morph is in order to undo it. No, it's actually, colliding pieces together to a point where you can't escape. Maybe your arm can pop out. So that is extremely cringy for the beginning of the video. It simply goes like this. Crip is another side of Blood. The running gag is, if you remain Crip, you won't get anything, but Blood has more access to the government and more tools. Now I'm gonna go into detail about, a Blood that's good versus a Blood that's half-assed. It's sneaking in its own intention. Because at the beginning of Blood, you start to see waves, you start to see a whole bunch of different people. Literally, they let you fight in the meeting, they let you play chess, they allow the being to mold you, teach you lessons as an adult. The concept of Blood is more miscellaneous. That's why I know the final phase of it involves a music video, and the final phase of the other gang involves a point. Hey, get this, Lily. I know, Lily, this is one trick when people think that there's no voice acting. When they switch their show with somebody literally doing something professional, like a zookeeper. Blood is a sick gang. What happens, Lily, is they make you move your feet, they make you, make jokes to me, but most of all, they make you do something over layered so you won't, skip a beat, so you'll never be, unfluid. What that does in rap is it gets inside rap, it gets inside of the mythical and parkour of rap. What the Blood does is for the American flag is it allows you to switch colors, have more facts about rap, literally, and weigh them out rule. In other words, Blood is to kill one part. Crip is to look at one part and keep their options open. It's a sick game because you can do a lot with it, literally, because it teaches you, literally, how to, dream and invest in stuff. In other words, literally, when a Crip literally fights, he has a concept of fighting, literally, like defensive, what they're about to do, and Blood knows what a fight is in and out. So to put it plainly, the leader, allows you to have a vision of life that, is called around, living life, taking advantage of, orange soda, like how I did, in Michael's older video. Alex, all the perspective they give you is why you can fool a teenager, most likely their older brother in life, because it gives you waves on top of dreams, on top of, things that correlate with reality. But here is literally where I draw the line. I know a lot of people don't want me to deliver this video correctly. What I tried to say earlier is it's a sick gang because it lets you kill one part, because it allows you to add, red to the American flag. It allows you to get to rappers like, Game and Lil Wayne. It serves a purpose. In the definition of a Blood that is good is Anthony's uncle, somebody who I love, dear and share. And absolutely, maybe I shouldn't on paper. Because his uncle is a boxing champion. Now, what that does is literally he has composure, so what's going to end up happening is he's adjacent, where he looks like facts about boxing, it's just like Eminem, so it is admirable. Some people in the gang are very admirable. That's the majority of good uncles. That's the majority of good uncles who do shit. There are also good members. Where Blood gets out of hand is when they start, justifying dead people. They use Blood for their own selfish reasons, like your abusive girlfriend, literally defending her, literally using being for what they want, fooling daddy. Originally served a purpose, guys, because literally it was a missing aspect that added to boxing, wrestling, that analytical phase that people go into. Provides the most conversations in the USA. You're not using it for a punk snot-nosed rat reason. Then it's good, but Blood went up against something. People like God, other people literally knew something about your dad and then rise up to a challenge that has something to do, with finding your uncle. No nonchalant, no pun intended, but they knew that your dad's head came off, and they knew that it was the same exact way of the dance move. And what happened was, people stayed in the internet, people didn't grow up all the way to the point, when they could, match up to that after all the shit that they talked. They can't use Blood for justifying bullshit, but like I say again, the meaning is so sick because it allows everybody's, character to be expressed. Fighting style, dance music, etc. You see how I told you about subconscious from my child? Blood makes sure you have a big subconscious because you're hanging out with hella people. So I would join, but the beginning of the being, I can tell their facial expressions, and that's the catch-22. Blood is, I know, the leader food with the laughing taffy, so on everybody's older sister and brother drives them around in their car and tells them how to live life, and that all comes from Blood. So it is, a true, gang where it comes to art and architect. Face against the challenge, really grown up, really, what some members of that gang definitely need to do is have their own mentality flip, like autistic in high school, or else they'll never truly grow up on the inside. That gang allows you to collect debt, use your strategy for a Deus Ex Machina, which is what Blood teaches you. The biggest example of one was my old Afghan boss at work. His rank, literally, the move he did in front of his uncle, literally, is all because of Blood. I don't care because I don't care about that concept. We can't keep going literally on this basis, on this My Hero Academia basis. You can't literally, if people want to submit to the law, if people want to literally use it as another form of art form. It gives people too many excuses. I'm gonna be flat out, serious. It gives people too many excuses, guys. So back in the days of Eminem, literally when people were killed apart, do not challenge a blood when it comes to Rules from Shady. So that's what Boot Tricks has to say on this channel.